Hey y'all, welcome to Cloveroom. It has been a minute and I feel like I'm finally ready to sit down and film something. It's just, typical life stuff and also atypical world stuff. Wow, it keeps getting worse, doesn't it? I hope if you are, well, there's so many people to think about right now. I'm especially thinking about trans people in Kansas right now. I know a lot of folks who watch my channel are trans or LGBTQ plus and are perhaps more engaged in what's going on. But in case I may be one of the only trans voices you hear, it is really scary. Yeah, it's no longer in theory anymore. It is starting to, if you are a trans person in Kansas, it is already obviously very, very real. But this is now starting to have some real impact on trans adults. There's currently some stuff happening in my life that is up in the air because of all of this, and it's really scary. It's really scary right now. That I just want to do like a chill video where I get ready, and I'm probably not going to talk about it anymore throughout because I've been getting, some help, some comfort from just kind of zoning out on the couch and watching YouTube makeup videos. I want to just get ready with y'all, have a really nice chill video, but I also want to discuss a change I've made recently that has honestly, it sounds dramatic, but it's really changed my relationship with my current makeup collection, but also buying makeup. And I've been getting ready out of an everyday makeup bag. This is the Elizabeth Scarlett wash bag with this beautiful elephant embroidery on it. If you don't know, elephants are my favorite animals. Besides Dodger, who's giving me side-eye, besides Dodger. Because I wake up really early for work and I have to go into the office every day at this point. So I was finding that not having just like automatic choices made for me was making getting ready both harder and it would take longer, but then also I felt like it was less successful because I felt like I was kind of just grabbing in the dark, because I was like, the way my mind worked before, it was like, I need a few options for blush and I need a few options for powder. And I just realized that really was not working, and it was a real pain point in my mornings. And I've never been a makeup bag girl because I'm like, no, I need options. And now I'm like, I don't actually, because I do change this out like every week. Like I just did the weekly switch out for this, which I can try to start making content about that. Again, no promises. But every week I like kind of go in and tweak what I have in here, but there's a few mainstays that just kind of stay. And honestly, I changed it last week and I kind of ended up changing it back halfway through the week. So I was like, no, I missed the stuff I was using. I have a lot of makeup in here, and I feel like my everyday makeup bag is probably a little bit more crowded than like the normal cool Canadian / British girls everyday makeup bag on YouTube. It's just been like really great. It's made getting ready in the mornings a lot easier. I feel like I'm actually getting to know my products like even better. It's making me want to buy makeup less because it's like I could probably do like 10 different versions of this everyday makeup bag because I don't have like the most makeup, especially for like a YouTube creator. But I do have like a lot more than I would say the majority of my friends. Like all of this behind me is my makeup collection, and then I have one drawer with eyeshadow palettes. And yeah, I'm thinking soon I may do a declutter, which I had previously sworn off. Well, not sworn off, but I did make a video that I actually went back and rewatched at the end of last year, and it's a really good video. It's about saying no to decluttering, and I actually think that is a good thing to do. And I'm glad I've said no to decluttering the last couple of years. And I've done some like what I call micro decluttering, where if I know a friend wants something or could use something and I'm not using it actively, I'll like give it away. I've had some things expire and stuff like that, but I'm now thinking, I'm still going to play around with the makeup bag, but I just like what I like. And this really puts into perspective the amount of makeup I need. And another big thing is like, when I came into being a makeup consumer and somebody who used makeup, I didn't learn from like my mom who just works out of an everyday makeup bag. I learned from YouTube. And I think a lot of us who came of our beauty age in 2016 is the year that's most cited, but it's probably more like 2014 or 2015. No, I guess it was 2016 or 2017 for me. What we saw were collections, and what you kind of aspired to was Alex drawers and having different options and having something in every category and multiple things in every category. And a lot of the work I've done on my channel is to try to dissuade you from that mindset and dissuade myself. I'm a lot better about buying makeup. I will say one of my goals that I talked about earlier this year was I don't want to be a VIB Rouge at Sephora. And I already made that come true because I didn't realize I've been knocked down a tier. I'm just a VIB, which amazing because I am trying to decenter Sephora specifically in my life. All of that to say, I feel like I've done a lot of good work about this the last few years, but I do still think of my collection kind of as a collection, and I'm not going to do like the most brutal declutter because I do like having some pieces and maybe I don't use all the time, but like last night I went to a party and having Viseart editorial mats, which is a palette I don't really reach for a lot, was really helpful because I needed to do some color. I don't need every item in my makeup collection to like be something that would necessarily go in an everyday makeup bag, but I do think I need like 80 to 85% of it to be. And if it's never gonna be that, then I really should, I think, declutter it. It's just, I feel like the key part that people don't talk about enough with declutters, the most important part of a declutter is actually not the declutter and not what you decide to give away. The most important part of declutter is what you do after. If you just buy all that shit back, wasted declutter. Like, it's not helpful. Like, you're basically treating your collection like it's a retail store and you're like restocking the shelves. And if that makes you happy, as Sheryl Crow says, it can't be that bad. I have failed a lot, which is why I kind of stopped decluttering, because I was like, I'm literally just like making space to buy new crap that I'm later gonna declutter. And it's this really useless and vicious cycle of get rid of, hoard, get rid of, hoard. If I do a big collection declutter, which I'm kind of inclined to do, I've also had a purgatory box going of stuff that I think I may want to declutter. I don't know. I'll get into all of that if I do a declutter video, but I think, again, the crux of the success of a declutter happens after. Happens like with what you do next. If you maintain that size of your collection, and I understand that changes for content creators. I am a beauty curious person, so I'm not on a set no buy or low buy right now. I would say I'm kind of just in a low buy mindset, and that's been nice. I have bought some makeup this year. I don't know, in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Again, it sounds dramatic, but this has really changed my perspective on like how much I actually need. All of that being said, we're gonna get ready together today. This has a lot of stuff I have been using, but I did put some new stuff in here that I wanted to rotate in. That's the other nice thing about this, is that it's really easy to switch up every week. So if I am feeling like I need to get some other stuff in the rotation, it's really nice for that. If I feel like I need to get some thoughts on something, because there are some things that are kind of on the chopping block in my head, or some new things that the last week I got some more insight on, and that was helpful too, because I kind of confined myself to this makeup bag, and then I also will say I do have my project pan items in here, and I know I owe y'all an update on my project pan. Hopefully that will be coming soon. It's going to be a 2-month update instead of a month update. I am still doing that project though, and some things are going really well and some things aren't, but I'll talk about that in that video. Let's actually get started with the makeup. Also, I need to put my hair back when I do my makeup because it really annoys me, but I'm on a diffusing journey right now. I bought a new diffuser. It's the Wavy Talk one. I still don't think I've totally mastered what I want out of it, but this is the best I've done so far, and I wanted a moment for these curls because I feel like it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna put my hair back though, so I don't have sensory overload when I do my makeup. And Dodger's gonna come say hi to everyone. Come say hi. Oh, it's your dodgeball. Dodger's had a skin infection the last few weeks. It's gone now, so that's happy days. But we're now in recovery and trying to figure out his allergies because he's a pretty with allergies. No pity with allergies. Let's do some skincare. I haven't done anything. Usually I at least come on with skincare and brows, but I've not done anything. I'm almost done with this BYOMA Hydrating Milky Toner. I have very little left. Probably only like 3 or 4 uses. I have not been like super impressed by it, if I'm being honest. It's been fine. It's felt like it's lasted a long time, so I'll give it that, but I may try the Haru one next. If it's only available on sites like YesStyle and stuff, it's just hard because like I know the shipping takes a while on those sites and I need one probably soon. So I'll see about that, I guess. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I am probably going outside after this, so I'm gonna use my lip tinted HUEGUARD. This is in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty at some point. I don't really remember when. I didn't mark it down, to be honest. I probably should. Because that is the type of thing where I wouldn't mind stockpiling it. Because I did already stockpile it off. Like the 2 bottles, I just used one up and then I'm obviously using this one now. I got when they were on the GMA deals page, which is the same deal, it's 50% off, which was great. So I may, whenever that does happen, I may pick up some because I could use it because I do go through that. I'll come back after I do my brows. I'm not going to talk during this. Brows are done. I feel like I went a little strong with filling them in, but that's fine. We're not going to comment on it. I did want to say I have had to really reset my brow routine because I was trying to use up this KOSAS pencil that I'm kind of convinced, I bought it in store in Sephora like a year or so ago, and I'm kind of convinced I just got a dud because it's like, it's pretty unusable at this point. Like I was trying to get through it, but like, I felt like I was using a mechanical pencil to fill in my brows. Like both with how, like I felt like I really had to like put pressure on to get any pigment down, and then when I did, it was like almost like more graphite. But even though it's like a warm brown color, it was weird. And then also I was trying to use this new brow gel to me, which I just hated. So recently I repurchased the Ulta Beauty Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. I did buy it in a new shade though. Usually when I've gotten this in the past, it's been in brunette. And I bought this one in dark brown. It's a really solid, very simple, thin brow pencil. So I like that. I think this color's a little dark for me, but it's fine. I really want to like dye my hair like a darker brown. For the brow gel, I also returned to one I'd used before. This is the Live Tinted HUEBROW. This is their clear brow gel. Usually I go for more of a laminating type gel, but I do find this gel has really nice hold. And one thing I really love about it is this wand. It's like a plastic bristle wand with like a more like spoolie side, and then like one with like a longer comb on it. And the longer comb side is so great at kind of like putting the brow hairs where you want them and shaping it how you want it. So, and I do like the formula. It's a little, like I would maybe prefer it to be a little bit more, instead of like a pure clear gel, like a little bit more pomade-y and a little bit more of like a white color that dries down clear. But I do quite like this, and I'm happy to have a brow gel that I enjoy in my life again because it's been a minute. And I know I do like that one a good bit. Recently, like one of the things on my wish list, because one of the things I'm trying to do to curb my makeup buying is have a running wish list that I actually write stuff down that I want on it, put the date that I wanted it on, and give it at least 2 months before I purchase anything. That's my goal. I'm still very new to this. One of the things that has recently caught my eye, which is so random, it's so random, but I was watching, the algorithm served me a Jamie Page video from Truly. YouTube said it was 4 years ago, and usually YouTube is like conservative in their estimation of how long a video ago was, so it probably is more like 5 years ago. First of all, I screenshotted it because her curls looked perfect in it, and I was like, I think that's my ideal haircut. But second of all, her eyeshadow in it looks so good, and it was the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize Cream Shadow in Pillow Talk. Of course it's Pillow Talk. And I've never had an Eyes to Mesmerize shadow, and I don't really like Charlotte Tilbury as a brand. It's not a brand that I like support, or most brands these days, I'm going to be honest. Like even some of the brands I'm going to be using today are not brands that I support. Another reason I'm trying to curb my spending is the Estee Lauder of it all, the L'Oreal of it all. So a lot of brands I'm just like not really in the mood for. And I don't think Charlotte Tilbury is owned by a conglomerate at this point. I could be wrong about that though. But anyway, I was thinking about it. I was like, do I have like a movie cream shadow I could use as a base? Because it just looks so perfect on Jamie Page 5 years ago. I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, I should pull out Chill Cherry from Phytosurgence. This is definitely cooler toned and more of like a mauvey grayed out rose than like a true mauve. I guess, I don't know, who knows what mauve is, but I'm just gonna use this as a base for today's look. I will say I've had like not a love-hate, but when I love a Phytosurgence shadow, I love it. Like I do know I love Chill Cherry. And by far my favorite is Lunar Lightwave, which has been a mainstay of my channel and my collection for a while now. A lot of the other Phytosurgence shadows are actually in that Purgatory box I mentioned, because they get weird really quickly, especially if you don't use them every day. In my experience, they get hard pan easily, and then like you can, like a lot of times I'll just take a spoolie and get rid of the hard pan. That kind of works. It also feels like it kind of messes up the shadow formula a little bit. I did own a good bit at one point. I guess technically I still have a lot of those, but I have not been as inclined to reach for them, and I am thinking of just keeping the two that I know I like, Chill Cherry and Lunar Lightwave. Although, again, as I mentioned before, I would really love to purchase a new Lunar Lightwave. Someone reached out, a Canadian viewer, which was very sweet, and offered to send me it. or at least procure it for me since I can't buy it since I'm in the US, which was so nice. I decline though, and I've had a couple of offers like this before, and I guess I'll talk about this. And I know it comes from like the sweetest place, and I also get it because I am a much smaller creator. I am not comfortable because I don't have like a PO box or anything. Because people are like, "Do you have a PO box for PR?" And I'm like, "Girl, what PR? I don't get PR. I'm not giving PR to the trans girl with 2,000 subscribers who openly hates." Like, I don't know. I've never done like anything like influencer or anything like that. And like I've never had PR friendly in my bio. And I'm not trying to like, if that's your journey as a creator, I think that's great, and I love that for you. That's just personally not my journey as a creator, so it makes a lot of sense why I also post so sporadically that I don't know if I would give me PR either. So I don't say that to complain. I say that as like, that's kind of how I position myself. I mean, I think if I get larger and stuff, then maybe I could get PR, but it's not something I'm really worried about. And what was I saying? Oh, so I don't have a PO box or anything, and I just don't feel comfortable giving out my address to y'all if I don't know you. I'm sorry. Because it's very sweet to think of me, and there have been times where I've gotten to become friends with people on Instagram, especially at the beginning of starting content creation, and become closer friends with some folks. And I actually met Elle essentially the other day. Can you believe it? She's the coolest person I've ever met. So I'll do front mail that way, but if I don't know you, even though I'm sure y'all are lovely, sweet people, it's just not. I have a lot of concerns about my security right now, so I'm not gonna give out my address. All that to say, this looks really nice. I always forget how gorgeous this is, and I feel like usually I do a much thinner layer than this, but like I'm kind of enjoying just like building this. I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury is warmer. That's like the main. It's like less purple, more pink, warmer. And it's also more of like a true cream formula, which I kind of like the idea of. But again, I want to wait a bit before I make that kind of purchase for a lot of reasons. But I do think this looks really nice. And the other way I've been doing, because I have a Tom Ford cream shadow that honestly is expired probably, but it's been passed through like 2 or 3 people. What I've been doing is like I've been using the cream of that, and then I've just been adding like something like this on top. This is the REM Rose on Mars Satin Matte Blush. Probably gonna use this on my face, but I'm definitely going to kind of warm this up a little bit and kind of get closer to how Jamie Page's shadow looked in that video from 5 years ago. My guiding light at this point. I will say too, something I am looking for either in a cream shadow or just an eye primer. My eyes have never been drier, and I would really love something that makes them not look dry. So if anyone has any really good like eye bases they love, and again, it can be like a cream shadow, it can be something like I know some people like the Sigma eye primer, something like that, and you have really dry eyes and product can look really dry on your eyes, let me know, because I'm definitely kind of curious. I don't know if that works super well, actually. I think that clashes more than anything. I should zoom you in, shouldn't I? Let's go in. This is in my project pan, not my everyday makeup bag. I'm going to go in with the Makeup by Mario Neutral Mattes palette and just use a couple of mattes to define the crease more. Kind of neutralize this. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. We're just kind of playing with makeup. Yeah, I actually don't know if I love Chill Cherry's base. I liked it more before I put all this stuff on top. But it is a little cool tone for me, just like the way it is, which is why I kind of was trying to add some warmth. We can make this work. I'm gonna use the WESTMAN Atelier pencil liner in Cold Run. Just scribble that on, I guess. That wasn't really the plan, but that's fine. Okay, this is kind of turning into a mess, but we'll figure it out. I'm gonna use the shadow in the Makeup by Mario palette to do like a wing. Very soft wing. Okay, maybe less soft than I wanted. Ooh, that does not look good at all. Good. I was hoping I would do a shitty eye look today. Definitely not my favorite. I think I'm gonna clean it up with a little micellar water. I may have to rethink this iteration of the makeup bag though, because the Chill Cherry shade is not working for what I was thinking it was gonna work for. I am gonna add some Lunar Lightwave on top. I threw this in the bag too to see how it's doing. It is definitely older. But it's like I've been using other shades and I'm like, I feel like I really miss Lunar Lightwave. I'm just so unsure about, like, it just seems kind of old. It's like digging my finger in and it's, yeah, this is a little grungier than I like to go, to be honest. But I think maybe with a little tight line of mascara might be better. I did add the Westman Atelier eyeliner and tight lined, and also did my tight lined and what's the other one? Waterline? I don't know. It's all over inside my eye. And then I also added the Westman Atelier mascara. I love this so much and I wish it wasn't so expensive. And I do think it looks, like, I think it looks good. It's like a serviceable eye look. I do want to do a quick note on these Phytosurgence shadows. I love Phytosurgence. I'm a big Phytosurgence fan and they're often in my favorites. I do think the Chilled Cherry makes an okay base, although I do think it's starting to get a little heavy, and I do think it contrasted a lot with what I wanted to put on top of it, which is my thing. I think as a one and done satin thing, it's fine. I don't know if it's going to go in my everyday makeup bag for right now, though, because I think this is a little cooler than I like to go most days. The sadder news. Lunar Lightwave, I think it turned out well, and I think it looks good, but I can tell close up and I can tell by applying it, it just applied kind of patchily, like more patchy than it usually did. And I just think this, like, mine is so beat up from over the years, and this is at least 3 or 4 years old. I think I may be retiring her. Which is really sad because I really want to toss her in my everyday makeup bag because I love this product so much. I think the time has come because this is not working the way I wanted to, unfortunately. I'm not gonna throw this away, or I'm gonna think about it a little bit. I'm just gonna put her back in my collection. I did want to show you what I'm going to be putting in instead for this week's iteration. And this is like less of a space saving situation. It fits fine because this Elizabeth Scarlett bag has like a good amount of storage. I do try to keep it lighter where I can. And since I already have the Mario palette in my project pan, this is what I usually use day to day if I need like mattes. For like metallics or glittery shades, I have been using my Salt New York palette to house these. So I have a couple from Bella Beauté Bar, the Unoriginal Nudes palette. I have a couple of really old Glossier almond monochrome shades. And then I have some Viseart kind of sheer glittery shades. So this is what I use when I want like a pop of something or to build an eye look out. I would love a magnetic palette that is less wide than this, but again, I'm not trying to buy a bunch of stuff right now, so I'm just using what I have, and that works pretty well day to day. I have been panning 2 primers that aren't even in my project pan because apparently I'm bad at this. But it's been nice. I feel like again, even just like the last month or so with this everyday makeup bag, I feel like I'm also seeing a lot more progress on products because I'm not just reaching for random stuff every day. I have a couple of E.L.F. gripping primers that, well, I'm trying to use up this mini of the Power Grip primer right now, and then I also have a full size of the Jelly Pop one. I don't buy from E.L.F. anymore. I have a couple of gripping primers, but I always thought like, I don't know, who cares? Like, my makeup can fade. I don't think it's really worth it. And then I do work a little bit of longer days now, and I was noticing at the end of the day, I was like, wow, my makeup she really pieced out. And I was like, well, I have a couple of gripping primers in my collection, so why don't we pull them out and see if it makes a difference? Such a difference, as it turns out, like night and day. Like I can still see my blush at the end of the day when I wear these, and previously I was not. I think I like the Jelly Pop formula better. I wish it didn't smell so strongly of watermelon Jolly Rancher, but I do like that formula better. But this was an easier one just to kind of throw in, use up real quickly, and I am almost, oh god, I am almost done with it, clearly. Oh my god. Okay, don't be dramatic. There is some left. Like I said, I do prefer the Jelly Pop formula. Like, I like how dewy it is, and I do think makeup stays even better with that one, but this is a mini that is something that I got free with purchase, but I just want to kind of use up, and I'm very close to it. It's been a bit of a struggle remembering to use this every day, and some days when I'm in a rush, I forget, but I am getting better at making sure I use it. This is crazy. Okay, wow. Are you hearing these noises? Like screeching. This is so beat up. Okay. My other primer that I have barely anything left in, and I actually took the stopper out, which is how you know I like something, so I don't do that for everything. Sometimes I find it just isn't worth it, like with the KOSAS concealers, it's not usually, but I knew there was a good bit left at the bottom. This is a mini of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have it in the shade Too Fair. I know there's been so many different iterations on this, and I have to get it out with the spatula now. It's all the way at the bottom. I am kind of inclined that I think maybe the OG is the best. Like, I really do love this product now that I've used up this entire mini. And I would definitely, like, why am I turning into a Charlotte Tilbury girl? Who am I, Tom? I would definitely repurchase this. I will say I bought a few things from Catrice a few months ago, or I guess a couple of months ago, and I'm using a lot of this just because I'm kind of sick of having to use a spatula. Wow, okay, I'm using too much of this. Whatever, we'll be glowy today. And I bought Catrice's dupe of the Flawless Filter, but then I was like, I just want to use this up really quick first because I knew it wouldn't take very long. Although I will say I like the Catrice version a good bit. I've also tried the E.L.F. Halo Glow, and I don't like that product actually, not just because I hate E.L.F. at this point, but I just did not think that was my favorite iteration of it. The Catrice one I do find to be less, and I'm hoping to do an actual full video of Catrice, so I won't give everything away, but I actually find it to be a little bit more no makeup than the Flawless Filter. It's a lot less mica, and it's a lot more just like a glowy skin tint. I'm still experimenting with that, and I haven't used it in a bit because I've been, again, trying to use up just a couple of these mini primers that can easily kind of float around in your makeup collection for a while. Again, it's nice having this everyday makeup bag where, like, I'm confined to this, so I make sure I use those up, and it really doesn't take that long if I'm using them every day. I'm now gonna go in with my KOSAS Pink Color Corrector. It's their color corrector in Magic. I do really like this stuff. It is pretty pigmented, so I'm probably using too much. I have been thinking about maybe getting the peach shade of this corrector, just because, like, I don't love, like, I do prefer a pink corrector for stubble, but I do wish, like, I love this formula and I do like the color, but I kind of wish it was a little bit warmer. So I could use the peach one to, like, add in a few dots, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do that. Okay, now I'm going to use something that I haven't used in a while, but I've been thinking about her. And I always come back to her eventually. Even when I think I'm done with her, but the Glossier Skin Tint in G11. I have been doing kind of more of an underpainting with stuff and then using this product I'll talk about in a second on top of it, but I do think this would help blur my skin even more without being too heavy and kind of unify everything before I put the powder foundation on top. So I thought we would try that out together. I guess this is more of a trial run of what an everyday makeup bag could look like for me. Because there are obviously some things we're going to edit and have already edited. Okay, this is not working super well. I'm actually just going to use my hands. I'm going to underpaint a little bit more. I don't always do this, but I'm in the mood today. This is a newer product to me. This is the About Face Cream Bronzer in Tan Lines. It's the lightest shade. I really like this. It's very, very dewy and it's very slippy. Like when, or not even slippy, but just like downright oily, like on swipe. But I love the color. Like it looks so, just like a supernatural tan on me. Blends in very, very easily. My only thing is I have only been using this actively and it wasn't in my everyday makeup bag for a couple of weeks. I feel like I'm flying through this. Like this is how much I have left. And I was looking and there's only 6 grams in here, which is really not a ton of product. Usually with stick products, I don't draw directly on the face, but because this is like so, really glides on very easily. I'm not gonna super blend this out, just a little bit. Since I'm gonna go on with powder foundation on top. And I'll use a blush too. I'm gonna use REM Opening Night. Haven't used this in a bit. Pulled this out to add this week too. I don't know if I really should use this directly on the skin, but I guess that's what we're doing. I also have been using a sponge a lot more, as you can see. Since I am using an everyday makeup bag, I like to also have like all my brushes in here, so I don't have as many brushes, like a full brush cup on my vanity, and it's also easier to find stuff. I've really enjoyed that because finding brushes in the morning can be a challenge, so just having them all be in this bag and only like a few of them has been really great. In a way I've been able to kind of have less brushes is using a sponge, and it also just makes things easier to blend. Okay, we're so dewy right now. I'm going to go in with this Makeup Forever powder foundation, the HD Skin Matte Velvet in 1Y08. I only got this a few weeks ago, but we're already putting a dent in it. I had this years and years ago, and I really liked it, and it's one of my favorite shade matches I've ever found because it's like a very porcelain neutral gold, which is what I consider myself. Something I honestly regret decluttering, if I'm honest. And I was just thinking about it and how nice it would be to have something like this in my everyday makeup bag, how easy it would be for work. So I ended up purchasing it like a month ago, and I have really liked having this again. I'm gonna try it today. Again, we're experimenting with this Morphe blush brush, but I thought it might be good for applying it. We'll see. Because I was using this BK Beauty foundation brush with this, and it was okay, but I thought maybe this would be better. Okay, and then sometimes what I like to do... I don't know if I love that Morphe brush for that, by the way. A lot of experiments are failing today. I'm thinking I'm going to swap back to the BK Beauty 106 for if I want to use a brush with this. I am going to go in with a puff, though. This looks terrifying, so I'm going to really blend this into the puff. Just tap over my beard stubble to go more coverage. I'm going to go in with my Hourglass palette now. This is their most recent holiday palette, the fairest option, the Deer palette. I don't regret buying this because for me it was less than, it was like $25 because I used ULTA rewards. This is my original Hourglass palette from quite a few Christmases ago. I recently completely panned the brighter finishing powder shade, and I also just have used, like, you can tell these two especially are pretty close to pan. It's very flattened out, and so I was like, I'm kind of curious to get a new one, and I'm glad I did. I do like that there are, again, I love these Hourglass finishing powders. I find them very, very useful. So I like that there's, again, a lighter one and then like kind of a darker one with some peach swirled in. I will say Ethereal Light is my favorite Hourglass finishing powder of all time. I like Dreamlight, which is what this one is too, but Ethereal Light is probably still my favorite. But they think they sell it as a single on their website. I don't know, but I'm happy to have this palette. I use it a lot. I was having this one in rotation just to finally completely pan Ethereal Light. I'll probably pull this one back out more in the summer. This is definitely deeper than this one. This one is more fair skin friendly, I would say. I love this bronzer, even though I wish I had a little bit more bronze swirled in. There's so much finishing powder in there. But I will say it still does make a really beautiful, not as warm toned bronzer, like a little bit cooler toned. I think the highlighter is really pretty. It's like a really nice, soft, natural powder highlighter. Very gorgeous. My complaint about this palette is the blushes. I think all of this is so nice and soft and like, and then I don't know why we have these two bright pops. I don't mind the baby pink shade. I can use this and I can enjoy this. The peach is unfortunately just like an absolute no-go for me. I just don't like this kind of tone on my skin. So that's kind of a bummer. I am happy I bought this. I think I'm gonna get much of use out of it. I know some people really don't like to buy face palettes if they're not gonna use absolutely every shade, but I think I'll get reliable use out of 5 of the 6 in here. I really love a face palette. So I'm happy that I ended up picking this up. I was unsure at first. I kind of regretted it, but then I realized I do like it. So I'm going to use some of that finishing powder under my eye. That's what I usually set concealer with, are these Hourglass finishing powders. Also, my eye will not stop watering. So my concealer always looks like messed up under the side because it won't stop watering. That's fine. And then I usually take whatever Hourglass powder I'm using and just kind of put it on with a puff throughout my face just to soften everything up and blur everything up more. Now I'm going to go in with this Persona brush. I love this thing. I've had this for so long and I never used it. It was never part of my regular rotation. But then as I was thinking about an everyday makeup bag, I was thinking how nice it would be to have a dual-ended brush that could do all my powder cheek steps. And this does, like, powder bronzer and blush with this is great. Powder contour and highlight with this side is great. It's a really great brush. I am glad I never decluttered it because I Bought this years and years ago, and I just never got around to really adding it to my rotation, but I've been using it a ton lately, and it is really nice. Oh, and this may still have other stuff on it, but whatever, we'll make it work. And this is a pretty light bronzer, and it is a little bit more rosy toned, although I do think I have just a bunch of blush on this brush, to be honest, but we'll make it work, it's fine. I'm gonna go back in with Rose on Mars, actually, for my blush. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a highlighter in this Hourglass palette. That's not the right one. And then for lips, honestly, most mornings I put on some Aquaphor and call it a day because I'm usually drinking a lot of coffee in the morning and eating breakfast when I get to work, so I don't bother putting on something on my lips. But for today, I will go in with ColourPop BFF2. I'm going to use just a touch of About Face Kiwi Fuzz. I'm going to add actually a little bit of this Glossier Lip Oil in Creamy. Okay, gonna do some quick finishing touches and then I'll be right back. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the everyday makeup bag discussion slash kind of tryout, I guess. And a lot of it failed. As I said, I'll like try to rotate things in and I'm like, no, I just want to use the same things over and over again. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like. It helps me a lot in the wild, wild west of the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see future videos. And thank you all so much for being here. We're going to be okay. Bye, y'all.